All right, welcome, kings and queens. Listen, y'all, oh, it hasn't been, a month? And Martell then took his behind to those kids' party, being a complete party crasher, disruptor. But it's cute, right, Carlos? So we're going to be talking about Martell Holt, y'all. Lord have mercy, the problem child of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay, sticks out like a sore thumb, can't get right, won't do right, just because. And everybody thinks it's funny, with the exception of Melody and her team. I think they understand the impact and the potential harm that if this behavior goes unchecked, it could be detrimental. For those of you who are just tuning in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. All right, so we're gonna get straight to it. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time today. We're gonna be talking about three things. We're gonna talk about Martell taking his rusty dusty ass up there to those kids' birthday party, making a scene. That's the first thing we're gonna cover. The second thing we're gonna cover is this therapist, this jacked up bootleg therapist. Okay, ma'am, and I do not mean any respect. I'll give you a little bit of background why I'm labeling it that. We'll come back to that. And third, but not least, we're going to talk about NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. If you're ready, I am. Buckle up because we're about to go in. First things first, let me be very clear. I feel like Martell only showed up for the cameras. He ain't showed up no other time in real life. He's doing this for the cameras. Melody is thriving. And that narcissist wants in. He knew exactly what he was doing. He wanted all that smoke, y'all. And I'm glad that Marcus, Troy, and all of the men did not give it to him. This was not about the kids. This was not about this man wanting to see his kids and show up for his children. Hell, you didn't even wish them happy birthday on social media, sir. You didn't even wish Sugar Mama a happy birthday. So this isn't about the kids. Be not deceived, y'all. This is about envy. This is about envy. None of them have the village, the community, and the inaugural support, that spiritual covering that Melody has by way of numbers. Okay? Research shows that when you have a healthy community around you, there ain't nothing that you can't do, including bouncing back from a 14-year marriage. And that's what Melody has done. Melody is proof of bounce back. And there are other folks that are mad along with Martell because Melody is thriving. And he's mad, y'all. He's big mad. And the other folks who's peeking from the bushes, Tisha, Destiny, Carlos, and low-key Kimmy sometimes. And y'all are probably like, hold on, Queen Sheba. Why do you say Kimmy? Well, let me tell you why I say Kimmy. Kimmy settled. As an older and mature woman, Kimmy settled. And opposed to becoming a wife, Kimmy has had to become a nurturer in her marriage. I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to go too deep on that. I'm going to just park that right there for y'all. Well, why Carlos? Carlos, in my opinion, is low-key envious because Melody is doing what Carlos has not been able to do, to take his pain and turn it into purpose and never look back. You get what I'm saying? Carlos had a rapid and an abrupt exit from Bravo. And the rallying of the community wasn't there for him like it has been for Melody, who had a rapid and an abrupt marriage. Carlos is attracted to Melody because of her pain and what she's been able to do with her pain. However, in my opinion, he's also envious at times. And it shows up, Carlos, on stage when you ask her things like that. Are you enough? And maybe you didn't do enough what it takes to keep your marriage. Low-key shade like that. But let's get back to the point. The point is, Carlos did not experience the rallying of the community behind him post exit from Bravo TV. Okay, that support, he did not get that. And that's why we continually see him revisit the crime scene. Well, what do you mean by the crime scene? He keeps returning to the source of his pain. Bravo. Carlos, you said it yourself. You had a wonderful opportunity of a lifetime as the first and the only Black man as a showrunner at Bravo. And you dropped it. You dropped a bag. You fumbled the ball. And your ego got the best of you. And it continues to do so at times, sir. Now, this is just a huge assumption on my part. And let me say allegedly. As I sit back and I think, what the hell was Martell doing there at that party while they were filming? Carlos, did you encourage your production team to encourage Martell to go to that party?
So the only thing I'm going to say is...
Okay? Because Martell is not, nor has he ever been the originator of good ideas. I believe someone hyped him up to do that. And I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion, Carlos, that you love him so much. Yeah, I'll leave that right there. So, Carlos, you're going to have to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you're going to coach Martell right into jail or getting his ass whooped if you're not careful. And Martell, y'all, this is what I think. Martell popped up because he probably thought Melody's new man was there. And yeah, baby, he wanted all that smoke. You know, they said they considered calling the police on him. Oh, yeah, you thought you were going to get a glimpse of love and happiness. Not today, because it's chess and not checkers. Okay? You're not going to catch Melody slipping. She's not reckless, nor is she irresponsible like you. Martell, you are the only fool that places any and everyone around those beautiful children. And then you got the nerve to file for full custody.
You big dummy.
As a reminder, we are just seeing the beginning of karma set in and take place. I'll get to that later. Martell, in my opinion, will forever be a thorn in Melody's side until either he gets married again or she does. And that's not a prompt, nor is it a cue for Melody to get married. Do you, Mel? Let his discombobulated ass wander in the wilderness, because those demons are eating his ass up, y'all. And that's what you see, the byproduct of the misbehavior. Okay? The disruption on the stage at the reunion, tearing shit up in the bag. Them demons are whooping his ass. I'm telling you. Okay? And now those demons are looking for a place to go. And if you know the word, they like to jump into something else, right? All that chaotic behavior, destructive behavior. Now you want to show up at a kid's birthday party to the point that they almost had to call the police on you. Have a seat, Martell. But let me say this. That's why you see him popping up and jumping up in places that he don't belong. Now, partner, your time is up. You can no longer use those kids and Melody as your storyline. And to the producers on Love and Marriage Huntsville, please stop before somebody gets hurt. Y'all need to stop. While we're at it, let's talk about this therapist who got me looking at her sideways. Ma'am, what are you doing? Posing for the cameras and posting on social media. Why are you all up in the photos with Martell? To me, on the outside looking in, it appears as if you are more concerned with the glory opposed to the ethical principles. How come you didn't decline to see Martell? All right? And I ask you that for a reason. Most therapists would decline because it poses a conflict of interest, especially with you being a therapist and for Melody in her individual sessions. You get what I'm saying? You could have politely declined the opportunity based on the assumption of raising suspicions of a conflict of interest. So when we think about what can be deemed as unethical behaviors from a therapist, let's talk about it. Based on my opinion, and also ABA, standards, policies, protocols, appearing as a friend can be deemed unethical. That's when a therapist is treating an individual like a friend opposed to a patient. Now, let me ask you something. What provider, what doctor, what licensed, credentialed, certified psychotherapist, counselor, psychologist takes pictures for the gram with their patients? Do you get what I'm saying, y'all? So that's the first thing. Second, you should have never taken that photo with Martell and released it on the internet if you want to be taken serious as a provider. Thirdly, from a public opinion, you're no longer the expert. You appear to be a friend. I don't know any therapists that gladly accept photo opportunities with their patients. Many decline. Martell is a narcissist. And by you taking that, Martell is an alleged narcissist. And by you taking that photo, you've just created a dual relationship with him. It's giving friends, and this can cause problems. And the supposedly therapy relationship, you're not supposed to be opening up to all your clients if you choose to accept him or them as a client. That means no photo opportunities, no posting about Love and Marriage Huntsville pulling up to ask you to be a therapist. Ma'am, you are out of order. And how are you going to create a healthy therapeutic alliance? By giving shout outs and all up in the photos like P. Diddy. Your job is to eliminate biases, affiliations that could influence your work. That means no shout outs, no public photos. Show up, do your job, go home. Last but not least, let's talk about NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. This is not a diagnosis. This is just an observation used on my platform today in this commentary for educational purposes and entertainment. Okay? Well, first of all, what is a narcissist? NPD is an extremely serious condition, y'all, and should not be taken lightly. Carlos and the production team. Y'all are not taking this serious enough. You continue to promote these disruptive behaviors, and if you're not careful, Carlos, it can come back to bite you. NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, it can cause them to feel, to think, and behave in ways that hurt themselves or others. And Carlos, I know you were very vocal in one of your interviews about your concern regarding Martell potentially hurting himself. So that's a huge, big qualifier for NPD. Let me just read you a few. Overinflated sense of self. Possessing, that's when someone possesses a godlike complex. Number 2, constant ideation about being more successful, more powerful, more smart than others around you. Could that be the reason why Martell has convinced himself and many women in the world that are attracted to him that he was the breadwinner and the head of the house? Very interesting. Number 3, a need for excessive admiration. That's a fact because we heard him share that in therapy with Dr. Francis, that Mel does not provide him enough attention, to which Melody responded, I don't think I'll ever be able to give him enough. A need for excessive admiration. And while I'm on number 3, Ariane, you will never be enough. Even if you want it to be. He won't let you. This is that's what you leverage, Ariane, when you talk about him. How good you get down with him in your bedroom. Well, I'm just letting you know. They have a very, very insatiable appetite for excessive admiration. Number 4, a sense of entitlement. Wait a minute. Sense of entitlement. Is that why you took your behind up there to that birthday party? Is that why you felt like Melody needed to allow you to come into her home? Is that why you felt that Melody should remain in a toxic marriage with you having unprotected sex with numerous women throughout the course of your marriage and she should stay? You know what? Is that why you withheld all of her belongings and the belongings of your children? Because of your entitlement? But let me move on. Number 5, willing to take advantage of others to get what you want. Willing to take advantage of others to get what you want. Is that why you didn't get your builder's license and you allowed Melody to do that? You know what? Let me move on. Number 6, arrogant or snobby behaviors and attitudes. Melody's called you out for that numerous times throughout the years while you were married. Number 7, feelings of superiority and the desire to only associate with high status people. Y'all, I can't make this up. Did we not hear this man refer to the child of his mother as a peasant? Woo! Listen, I'm on a roll today. Did we not hear? Now you know why he called her a peasant. Because the feelings of superiority and the desire to only associate themselves with high status people. Is that why you're latching on to Sheree? To be associated? Not necessarily Sheree, y'all. He's latching on Sheree, but not for Sheree. Martell don't want Sheree. He wants what Sheree is connected to, which is a huge franchise, opening up the door to high status people. And last but not least, Carlos, I don't know what you think you're doing, but you got tricked. That narcissist is going to play you all the way to the bank. Martell has strategically caused you to fall in love. And I'm not making this shit up, Carlos, because you said I love him, which is very inappropriate as his boss. I keep calling your ass out on inappropriate corporate behavior. You shouldn't be saying that. You shouldn't be saying it as a man in a position of power. You should be neutral. Your personal feelings and emotions, we should never have access to them. You should never feel freely to say that out loud. Imagine a male boss saying that I love her. It's inappropriate, but let me go back because Martell got you out here acting a plump fool on these streets. Somehow, some way, he has strategically induced you into a coma of love, Carlos, to where you forget who you are and what you represent. Okay? And I believe you, Carlos, when you say you love him. I believe you.
I want to make it very clear, my loves. You know, he went over there to play with the girls for a second. That's cute.